Hello and welcome. Today we're playing something different from usual. It is a short demo of a visual novel called Under Pretense of Death, the Moon. And it's basically a short story related to the main game, but the main game isn't out yet. Probably keep the music volume low so I can be heard. Okay. A new game.
Will he actually be here?
So, one cool thing about this game is that it got voiceovers, so I don't have to voice act every line if I don't feel like it. And there are some cool backgrounds around here, so. Now, how do I
Can't
advance
believe he's
text?
finally arriving.
And enter, I guess. Oh, okay. I absentmindedly sort through immigration documents in my hands, every now and then casting a glance at the open window. The setting sun's rays make their way into the gap between the heavy drapes, illuminating the places where soft twilight had gathered in Shanine and I's office. So I'm sharing an office with someone called Shanine, I guess. Okay, I hope to spot something unusual among the treetops and the white stone buildings of the Palace District, but my pupils don't have enough time to adapt to the bright light. Blurry bright spots dance in front of my eyes. I squint a little too forcefully and tears involuntarily form. I wipe my eyes with my free hand and try to focus on the documents. He will come, of course. Yeah, okay, so it's her thinking. He will come, of course. Oberon is never late when he needs me to gather information for him. More precisely, his minions are never late. He hasn't come to see me in person in a while. Why would this time be any different? My pleasant excitement and anticipation for a little reunion gives way to slight anxiety. Okay, give way. Or gives way. Ah, there's. And I find myself staring out the window again. Oh. Turn. Looks so angry. The drapes suddenly twitch sharply to the side with a heavy rustle, and the office darkens.
Shanine?
My voice sounds smooth and calm, despite the subtle notes of discontent.
I'm sorry, but the sun was shining right in my eyes.
Okay, but, like, is it possible to write in the dark? I wonder. I look up at my colleague. The sunlight no longer reaches her desk, but Shanine still holds a folder in front of herself, covering the top of her face. Well, no folder inside, but let's imagine that there is one. Her lips, pink and puffy like those of a porcelain doll, are pounded in resentment, and her hand is frozen in the air, as if she is waiting to swipe something away. Okay.
I didn't think you'd mind. I can open them back up, of course, but I'd be very grateful if you could explain exactly what it is that I should sacrifice my vision for.
Shanine throws the folder on the countertop and carefully examines me with her orange avian eyes. Yeah, they might seem like a bird's eyes. She didn't notice, of course, that I was still looking out the window. Oh, Mom. I guess I gotta explain
don't,
it.
thank you. I don't want to make you uncomfortable.
still better than when I shared my office with people.
Who are you sharing your office right now? Is my character not a person? Shanine leans forward on the table towards me. Leans towards me? Oh, leans forward. Okay, on the table. Towards me and continues in a dramatic tone.
There were no curtains at all. And although I tried to convey to those freaks that, unlike them, I can't work when the sun shines right in my face, they just ignored me.
Oh well. What a tragedy.
What a nightmare.
Satisfied with my reaction, Shanine continues to chatter louder and louder, clearly not caring that someone might overhear her gossip. I've heard it all 1,000 times, so fortunately all I need to do is nod and release some sympathetic sighs. My mind is quickly carried away by a stream of my own thoughts. I haven't seen Oberon in years, but that amount of time is only a moment for an elf, so it's unlikely he has changed very much. My gaze falls onto the documents that have been lying on my desk all this time. A list of troll townspeople, both local and newcomers. The results of research on the ability to communicate with spirits. Descriptions of strange spiritual practices. Or has he changed? Since when is Oberon interested in trolls? What did he drag himself into this time?
Manhin, are you still here?
I'm reading. Shanine's melodic voice brings me back to reality. It's not back to reality, but I remain tethered to my anxious thoughts.
Oh, what?
Nani? Oh man, okay. I'm gonna take a sip of tea. Maybe I can check if I'm actually recording. Yeah. We are recording, that's good. Okay.
I said I'm leaving early today. Can you cover for me?
Yes, of course.
Where do you need to go?
Sorry, I'm a little tired today.
Nice green highlights, by the way. Shanine walks up close and, with undisguised curiosity, examines me and the documents lying in front of me. When did she get up?
No wonder. You've been working all day long, writing something, digging through the archives. Perhaps they were too dusty. Do you want me to open the window after all?
Well, that fang though.
Then you'll be able to keep looking at whoever you're trying to see out there.
She knows. She did notice. Shanine nearly chuckles, and she doesn't even try to hide her snide smile.
I don't report to you. But if you can't contain your curiosity, so be it. I'm actually waiting for someone.
Someone? You're so nervous, I'm starting to suspect that a cute spy will come to see us. Ooh, or maybe a foreign agent? Come on, Manhin. Tell me!
Hello, Mom. You don't have to know, but okay.
Holy flames, Shanine. You should read fewer romance novels.
Yeah, read less of that shit.
No cute spy is interested in knowing how many trolls immigrated to Ob Anon last year. It's not even classified information, so don't worry. The kingdom is safe.
Ugh, trolls. Sounds unimaginably boring. So, No mysterious pretty boys for sure.
My brother is quite the boy. However, it's not for me to judge how pretty he is.
Quite the boy. I mean, I guess he's might be older than a boy. More like a young man, but I don't know. I don't know enough about this. In my opinion, he's quite pretty.
Your brother?
Oh, Jesus Christ. Shanine's eyes flare up even brighter, which furthers her resemblance to an eager, hungry bird of prey. Oh god. Pushing her claws against the woefully creaking table, she leans slightly towards me. I can see the azure glitter that fell on her face from her intricate makeup.
Is Isa going to visit us? I was planning to spend the evening at the Emerald, but for Isa's sake, I'm ready to reconsider my plans.
Oh my god, are you so eager to see him? Us? Even if it was Isa, there's no chance in hell he'd come here for you, you little vulture, all about. I'm sure he has more important things to do than have stupid small talk. Or, I'm sure Isa would be happy to talk to you. Well, I don't know what Isa's opinion on what the whole thing is. I wonder. Okay, return. Let's go with the first one, I guess.
I'm sure Isa would be happy to talk to you.
I have no doubt.
Shani smirks suggestively. Oh, fuck.
That's not exactly what I meant. Doesn't it bother you that Isa is married to your sister?
First off, to my cousin. And second off, why should it? I'm not trying to take her place. Manhin, you're so naive. Do you really think Adwi hasn't found a lover yet? Maybe Isa is also seeing someone else.
Oh.
I don't meddle in my brother's affairs.
As if there's something so terrible about having a good time with someone. You could use some fun too, you know.
I squeeze out a polite smile. I have no desire to continue this conversation.
You can chat with me, Birdie.
I shudder and my fountain pen slips out of my hand and falls to the floor. It's as if Oberon's slightly vibrating voice gently caresses my skin and makes it tingle slightly like from a wool scarf. My heart skips a beat, unable to look at our sudden guest. My eyes cling to a crack on the lacquered table. I almost forgot how it feels. Physically manifesting his voice and projecting its force at others has been one of the many magical tricks up Oberon's sleeve since childhood. Okay. Shani lazily turns towards him and frowns in a charade of disappointment. Disappointed.
Oh, look who graced us with a visit. Oberon! Did you climb in through the window like a stray cat? And here I was, foolishly thinking that Manhin was talking about her real brother.
I mean, why are you disappointed? Sure, whatever.
I'm so sorry I've disappointed you. It's a good thing that at least one person's expectations matched reality. I had no doubt that I would see you quacking about here, bird brain.
That's some nice fun right there. Look at that. Shanine's face distorts into a squeamish grimace. Or is it grimace? I don't know. Her eyes are no longer gleaming with excitement, but rather smoldering with rage. Hot anger which the elf does not try to restrain.
That's your answer? Do you want to insult me or make me laugh?
What about Bo?
Please, enough. Let's try to keep some decency.
I finally dare to look at Oberon. My ex-fiancé has indeed hardly changed over the years, except that his profile is a little sharper, and dark circles lie under his eyes. The air around us crackles slightly from the subtle swirls of magical energy. As Melozone and Petrichor? Yeah, I don't know how to spell that. Like after a spring thunderstorm. Upon my shoulders falls a feeling of incredible heaviness. Bro, that's pretty loud. I hope my voice is heard alright. As if I was struggling against a huge weight. Oberon's magical potential is still obvious and significant, but this show seems somewhat restrained, a skill not part of his former repertoire. After a few seconds everything disappears, and I find myself feeling wistful. Something empty inside of me yearns to feel his force again, and not let go so easily. Finally catching my glance, Oberon slightly lifts the corner of his lips, and I can barely hold back from answering his gaze with a silly smile.
Manhin is a true diplomat as usual, staying neutral and trying to appeal to everyone's conscience.
Yeah, nice compliment, dude.
I'm not happy choosing a side just yet. And good evening to you, Oberon.
Oberon slightly bows his head in greeting. Before he would have been much less restrained upon meeting me. Perhaps he would have hugged me or pressed his cold lips to my forehead. I turned sharply to Shanin, trying to ward off bitter thoughts.
Oberon asked me to gather some information about theurgy. Nothing that can cause us problems here, though. Don't worry.
Except that his appearance here is already a problem. What did you call it? Theurgy? Yet again, some dangerously dull nonsense that will inevitably cause us all trouble.
Theurgy is the ability to communicate with spirits, my sweet bird. They cannot be seen without special training and education, much less spoken to. And I'm not surprised at all that you don't know anything about it. This concept lies slightly in a different plane than one's choice of nail color.
Burn. Starting up again. Give an exasperated sigh as Oberon and Shani continue to exchange pleasantries, almost forgetting about my existence. He's being his usual self, but Shanin is reacting harshly to his taunting. Oberon's criminal activities are, of course, no secret, but officially his reputation is clean as the son of an influential house. I don't think his appearance here can actually cause us any serious problems. Though Shanin has never cared much about her career, there must be something else.
Maybe a cup of tea, Oberon?
Maybe. If you came here for help, maybe that means you'll focus on me instead of Shanin.
I wouldn't mind something stronger.
Like what? Like stronger than...
I'll make you some strong tea.
Our eyes lock. His are filled with fatigue and painful tension. He's rubbing his neck, and I notice a wound covered in blood, almost imperceptible under the cover of his tattoo. It's very fresh. He get into a fight on the way here? At least his pupils look normal. I'm surprised he cared enough to show up sober, even if a little weary. Oberon guesses what I'm thinking. Sneering in discontent, he turns away from me and unceremoniously falls on the couch, resting his feet on the armrest.
Tea it is, then.
From the elf's delicate fingers breaks purple light that twists into a spiral, erupts, and then dissolves again. I guess talking about this. Oh, less crystal, bro. Oberon lazily throws his toy orb from hand to hand, either out of boredom or mechanically without even realizing he's creating magic. I watch this little performance mesmerized. Until Shani reminds me about her presence with an agitated sigh. That sigh didn't sound like agitation, more like scared of something. Whatever, I don't know.
Shani?
My colleague stands, leaning on my desk again, and looks around the office in confusion.
Is everything okay?
What? Yes. I just thought I saw something.
How about some tea? I know you're not particularly a fan of it, but this one's special. I got it as a gift from the Assistant Imperial Envoy for helping with the exhibition.
Oh. There is some difference in the text and voice, but I don't think it's that important. Okay, let's
From
go.
that weird nerd? No thanks.
Poor guy. This one's a skip button. And okay. There are two setting buttons. I would appreciate like a log, but that would probably be in the full version, so gotta remember it's still a demo.
My workday is over, and I'm going to spend the evening in much more pleasant company.
Shanine, not honoring Oberon with a word of farewell, heads to the exit with her heels loudly clacking against the floor. She suddenly stops at the door and quickly turns to me.
If you do want to join in, Manhin, you know where to find me.
Sure.
And I'd throw away the tea if I were you. Who knows what he snuck in there?
Have fun, Birdie. Your flock's waiting.
The office seems to have become colder. The silence broken only by the ticking of the wall clock and the joyful trills of birds, audible from the still ajar window. She left so abruptly. Was it because of Oberon?
Birdie? Really?
She only lacks feathers. A real canary. But in all fairness, she sings just as beautifully.
Okay.
Since when did Shanine ever sing? She just hisses at you like a snake. What did you do to her?
I haven't the slightest idea what you're talking about. By the way, what's with the envoy? Are you serving me tea from your admirers?
Lamar.
Admirers? No. It's just a gesture of gratitude. Few elves were interested in helping organize a joint exhibition with humans. I thought it would be a good opportunity to reintroduce both sides to their common history and culture, especially considering that before the rebellion, our traditions were heavily intertwined. The humans, though they were harshly enslaved by our ancestors, developed many traditions, some of which they inherited from their elven masters. And, despite their short life expectancy, people achieved very impressive results because of their natural craftiness. After all, such rapid evolution between generations leads to a fresh look at things.
Okay, so here it's missing the from on the some of which they inherited from their elven masters. And yeah, I'm guessing it's not the final. So somebody sees it, they can correct it.
For example, if we take tanners and fur products,
I lose my train of thoughts as I notice a sly smile on Oberon's face.
I'm sorry. I got a little carried away.
Come on. Such smugger.
Oh no, it's very interesting. You're so enthusiastic. You're even blushing.
What? No, I'm not.
Oberon lets out a short laugh as I can unconsciously cover my cheeks, now burning with embarrassment with my hands.
So, what about that tea? No lemon, please.
Okay. Here we got painting.
Hmm?
Ooh,
Hmm?
that's nice. I guess it's a good place to save.
Hmm?
Manhin, are you okay?
Just playing with the painting. What's up?
Hmm?
Okay, this is the tea set. Box with offerings. Ding ding. Vial. The bottle is not like the usual medicine bottles. It's made of expensive glass with a cap encrusted with purple gems. Maybe it's perfume? There are no ingredients in the label, no name either, but rather an emblem, a spiderweb emblazoned. I guess it's emblazoned, I don't know, onto a purple background. There's a little purple powder left on the bottom that looks like colored sand or sugar. Fish. An alchemical drug that allows short-term increase of magical potential, or elicits a state of euphoria. It depends. Shanine must have forgotten it.
Now this looks familiar. Where did the sand come from?
Sand?
That's what people call bish these days, haven't you heard?
Oberon clenches his hand closed, then opens it, and the bottle appears in his grasp. A second later, telekinesis.
I try to stay away from everything related to Bish.
Oberon's poignant laughter makes me flinch in surprise.
Am I an exception?
I guess so.
Generally, you're right. Sand can be dangerous, deadly even. It can give the user powers they never even imagined to possess. But it can take away just as much. For some, it's that feeling of true oblivion which draws them in.
I mean, there are better ways to wreck yourself. Oberon slowly stretches his words, peering into the purple greens. They reflect in the elf's eyes, making his irises sparkle with the alluring violet color of Bish. Maybe that's not a coincidence.
This drug kills. And those who survive become slaves to habit.
Oberon catches my troubled gaze, and, with a subtle flick of his wrist, teleports the bottle of Bish back onto the table.
You're exaggerating. Technically, it's made from biot crystals, which are already in our body. Bish is just a form in which they're relatively safe to consume.
Biot should not be consumed by elves, let alone by humans whose blood does not contain even a trace of that poisonous material. There's nothing natural about it, just like your beloved Bish.
Oberon tilts his head with an almost bored look. Even his eye color changed.
You're judging me, Manhin. The addicts are driven by the basic desire to become more powerful, to touch true magic. Is it really my fault that someone crosses the line because they can't control themselves?
And here we got two options. Yes, battling Bish is immoral, with taking advantage of others' weaknesses. Or I suppose I'm not a judge to decide who's right and who's to blame. Well, you know, it is his life and his choices, even though he like gives magical drugs to people. Not just gives them, sells them. So, you know, people who buy them were willing to pay for it, right? Yeah, I suppose I'm not a judge.
I suppose I'm not a judge to decide who's right and who's to blame. Sooner or later, everyone will have to pay for their sins.
Will they?
Yeah, Oberon laughs softly, but there is an unpleasant coldness in his eyes. Lamau, that's warm, bro, though. It's like, hey, will they though?
Well, when the time comes, my wallet and I will be ready.
What's in your wallet? Okay. Ooh, club card. The Emerald. Closed doors private club. For those who like to have a good time.
Are you still a club member? I haven't seen you there in a long time.
Certainly. But I'm afraid we attend different events. The ones I visit are a little more intimate and much less elite. There, guests don't stop at champagne spiked with bish.
When he mentions the drug, I twitch involuntarily. Is that where he crossed paths with Shanine? She also dabbles in bish, as most elven youth do. She did mention some secret parties before, but didn't gossip too much about them. That's atypical for Shanine.
Maybe I could keep you company next time.
Oh well. I have no desire to attend such gatherings, but if it helps to let me and Oberon spend a little more time together...
You don't quite fit in at those type of events.
I guess so.
But I'd love to accompany you to something more... decent.
How about an opera?
Oh, no. Anything but the opera.
Okay. Do you have any other
Do
suggestions?
you have any other suggestions?
Oberon looks a little surprised.
I'm glad you asked. You know, life in the capital is not limited to gaudy receptions in the opera. Have you ever tasted shark fin soup?
Can't say it did.
Shark fins? That doesn't sound very edible.
A new restaurant recently opened near the old sanatorium. I heard you can choose the fish you're going to eat before it's cooked right in front of you. Still alive and moving.
Oh my, our poor fish.
I'm not sure I like that idea.
The restaurant is open late into the night, and if you're lucky, you can reserve a table on the balcony. On a clear, moonless night, in the sky above the seaside view, you can make out the scarlet star of the Mekna constellation.
The constellation of the Red Shark.
Wow. And some lore for you. Oberon nods contently, stretching his lips in a mysterious half smile.
I will think about it.
Think then.
Be thinking, bro. Offerings. A box with offerings for the day of sunrise. This holiday I will throw all these things into a sacred fire so that Arcatash will give me liberation from these painful memories. My attention is caught by a golden amulet with intertwined triangles. The decoration looks unfinished. It lacks the other half. An engagement amulet.
What have you got there? A box of trinkets?
Offerings for the holiday.
Will you burn the amulet too?
Yeah, I don't know, bro. Maybe.
I don't know.
Perhaps Arhatash will free you from any sad memories.
Maybe you're right.
Maybe you're right.
Of course I am.
Okay. What else is there? It's time to do tea. Oberon rises slightly to get a better look at the serving table.
You've got a whole alchemy lab here. I hope you're not trying to poison me.
Hopefully.
I'm sure some people would be happy to mix potions in the workplace, but it's just a tea set. I mentioned that I received it as a gift from an assistant Imperial envoy. He assured me that this is the only one in the whole kingdom of the fairies.
Okay.
It says on the box that some troll clans still use this tea. Apparently, they drink it before ritual communication with their ancestors, or just to relax and focus their minds.
All right, you got me. I'm curious. Serving it seems a little more complicated than an ordinary tea ceremony. Are you sure you don't need my help?
I can handle it. It's just tea.
Okay, but you'll be the first to taste it.
Don't really remember which order to mix the ingredients in, and the recipe is missing. It must have fallen somewhere. Maybe I should look for it first. Yeah, let's go have a look. Where be the recipe? Vial, box with offerings, club card. I mean, that could be the recipe, but there is nothing popping up about it. Oh, here it is. Oh, it's a receipt. It's a recipe. Okay. What? I guess it was supposed to be called a recipe, but or maybe it's a recipe written on a receipt. Who knows? It's a recipe for how to properly make the special tea. The card probably fell off the table. Okay, so now we know.
How did you get into the office?
Through the window.
Just like a cat.
But I would have noticed.
Oh, that's what you were so nervous about. Were you watching for me?
I turned away to hide the embarrassment on my face.
I know how to go unnoticed. If I want to.
I don't see any wound, but okay, let's ask about it.
You have a wound on your neck. Are you okay?
Ah, this.
Auburn slides his long fingers along the wound around his neck and winces a little.
Nothing that's worth your attention. I had a little altercation on the way here.
Little altercation. Okay.
Altercation? Does it have to do with your...
I hesitate trying to find the right word. Auburn chuckles heartily.
My little not quite legal production? You can call things by their names. I have nothing to be ashamed of.
It's like you're proud of it.
Why would I not be? What do you think I should be proud of, if not my brainchild?
Clean bloodline, magical potential, silence. Silence.
Really? So I shouldn't be proud of anything? Wow. You're not even going to try to convince me to come back.
I mean, I'm literally not sure what I can bring up to not make you offended.
Either you've become more restrained, or it's harder for me to recognize your tricks.
Oh.
Someday you'll realize that I'm not your enemy, and I'm not trying to trap you.
And I hope that someday you'll understand that I'm comfortable with the current state of affairs, and I don't want to change anything.
Alrighty there. I'll make some tea.
I'll make some tea. I'll make some tea.
Let's go. I can make a tea here. Wait, what? I can make tea here. Okay, okay. Gotcha. Make tea.
It's a good thing I found the recipe.
Here we got the card. It's purple, berries, and blue. Cinnamon, red currant, lemon. Box with tea. Okay, so tea box with tea goes first.
This tea is supposed to influence your mood, if you know how to prepare it properly.
Influence. Okay. Add that. Purple herbs. There's green herbs in here. Mint, cinnamon, kill. Red currant.
Red currant berries for anxiety relief.
Wow. Blue
Blue
herbs.
like the sky on a clear day.
Sure. Okay. Is it right? I think it is. Let's go. Let's try it. I mean, I guess I can drink it myself. Oberon squints suspiciously at the drink. The tea turned out to be too strong. Dark with a reddish undertone, like that of baked blood.
Did you decide to poison me after all?
After all your experiments with Bish, you're scared of some calming tea?
Put the cup on the table in front of Oberon, not too concerned about etiquette. The elf still decides to take a chance and takes a cautious sip.
Is it really that bad?
It could have been worse.
I take a tiny sip and immediately get the urge to cough. The tea's bitterness is stinging my taste buds like chewing on a sprig of wormwood.
You're right. Perhaps I should make some normal tea. Sorry.
Thank you, but I've had enough for today.
Where did I go wrong? I think I followed the recipe to the letter. But maybe I should have added something sweet into it.
I don't want to end tonight in a hospital bed.
Oh well. Oberon takes a cookie from a nearby tin and diligently chews on it, apparently trying to destroy the wild taste of bad tea.
I've heard humans bake cookies that can predict fate.
Nah, they don't.
Fate cookies?
Something like that. There's a hidden message inscribed carefully on a piece of paper around which the cookie itself is baked. It's usually something positive.
I pick up a ginger biscuit and crack it in half.
I wish these had secrets too.
Just eat it, bro. Imagine eating a cookie and then chewing paper. Like, oh, the fate is sealed in your mouth because you're chewing on it. Oh well.
Are you still into divination? I thought the matron didn't approve of trickery magic.
I don't tell her everything.
Oh, who's the matron?
Would you like me to read your tarot cards?
Were you just waiting to ask that?
I feel a little embarrassed.
Shanine considers it all quackery and not real magic. So I try to keep this hobby to myself, and those with an open mind.
I'm not Shanine, but I also doubt that the cards should be believed. No piece of paper can predict someone's future. But if it amuses you, I don't mind.
A gentle wave of my palm and a well-worn deck appears in my hands. There is indeed no magic in tarot cards, at least in the usual sense, but somehow they are often right.
Take 3.
Oberon follows my instructions and puts his 3 cards face down on the table in front of him.
The first one signifies the past.
I'm filled with fresh excitement as I slowly turn the first card.
The moon.
The moon. Oh, the music stopped.
On this path of mine, between twilight and shadow, the moon lights the way.
That's nice. My heart is pierced with longing at this spontaneous, melancholy haiku. I raise a cautious glance at Auburn. He understands and frowns.
I couldn't have known you'd pick that one.
I suppose there exist connections to Moon other than your name.
Sure. Oberon's voice manifests again, this time in an icy form, carrying the sensation of frostbite. The intense cold radiates through my body as I feel frosty needles gently poking at me. His magic is starting to weigh down on me again.
Yes, the moon card has many meanings. Maybe you've waited too long to act, or you were a follower instead of a leader. You were surrounded by too many choices.
Oh wow, that's pretty threatening. My very lungs are shrinking from the cold. I cough. Cough? Cough? I cough, unable to take a breath.
Please, stop. It's hard for me to breathe.
Yeah, what's going on here? Oberon suddenly jumps to his feet and takes a few steps away from me. He nervously runs his hand through his hair and his eyes darken, shimmering with shades of purple. The marks on his cheekbones stand out very distinctly and seem to glow from within with trembling mystical energy.
Sorry. I didn't do it on purpose.
I'm released from the clutches of his magic and the air finally rushes into my lungs. I catch my breath as I gradually loosen my hold on the fabric of the blouse near my neck.
Are you alright? Why didn't you resist?
Oberon looks at me anxiously, still hesitant to approach.
Yes, I'm fine. I don't know. I didn't think it was going to be so strong this time.
So what, is his magic like so strong that it can make people lose the air in their lungs? And he just can't control it completely or something? He unwittingly takes another step back.
I've overstayed my welcome. Where are the documents I asked you to collect?
Wait. Let's see the rest of the cards. Then I'll get you the papers.
Don't go, please. Oh man.
I almost died there. You can't just walk away now.
I said that as a joke, but it didn't land very well. Oh man, poor guy. Yeah. Oberon stands in his doubts for a while, but eventually nods in agreement.
Fine. Let's see the next one.
Still in the process of remembering how to breathe. The morning anxiety which left me when Oberon appeared begins to stir once again in the back of my mind.
Death.
That's probably the present, right? Oberon doesn't respond. He just stares at me, not even blinking.
You know, death is not a bad card. It doesn't mean you're going to die soon. It's more of a metaphorical rebirth, a transition to something new.
I hesitate but manage to continue in a slightly shaking tone.
Perhaps it is time to stop looking back on your past. Time to let it go and start a new chapter.
Yeah, sure. Let it go. Let it go. Man, my headset's pressing down on my head so very hard. It's like, why? And I think, yeah, I've been playing for around half an hour at least. Okay, let's return and keep reading.
Death is not the end. Try to cherish your lifetime, never looking back.
What?
Don't turn around.
Uh-oh. A while, a shadowy, barely humanoid creature appears behind me, close to the back wall. Wow, those sound effects are so spooky. Its bumpy gray flesh exudes a thick visual haze, which makes the whole body of the monster seem to ebb and flow with every moment. The torso, if you can call it that, imperceptibly spills into skinny ghostly legs, ending with long bony feet floating eerily just above the floor. I exhale convulsively, turning my eyes to Oberon. He puts his finger to his lips and ever so slightly shakes his head. Fear quickly gives way to almost animal instincts. My vision slightly blurs, and it feels like time slows down. My muscles tense up, ready to throw myself forward at any moment like a compressed steel spring. I can feel magic coursing through my veins, making its way through my body and concentrating at my fingertips.
Don't move.
Okay, gotta stand around, I guess. Freeze. Freeze. Trying to ignore the ancient primal voice, the instinct pounding my brain like a drum. Run. Defend yourself. Survive. It takes every ounce of my willpower to not move, but it works. The monster thinks it has gone unnoticed. It stands there, its flesh still bubbling with shadowy energy. Some fragments from its cracked body chip away like shards from a broken vase. They barely have time to touch the floor before dissolving with a repulsive squishing sound. Disgusting, how did I not notice it before? Surely it didn't manifest a moment ago?
It's focusing on you right now. Stay where you are until I catch its attention. Is that clear?
Yes. I nod slightly and silently. Arguing with Oberon right now is pointless. I can protect myself, but I'm not a soldier, and even my magic has boundaries. Who knows how fast and strong this thing is? The monster begins to understand that it has been noticed, and its slurping, squishing, guttural noises become more frequent. Okay. It takes monumental effort to not turn around, but I manage to stay still. Not knowing what this thing is doing behind your back is worse than looking at its slimy, festering flesh head on. Yeah, I think D is a bit, out of place here. I hear the sounds getting closer. I can't bear it any longer. I panic and I turn to face the monster. The creature suddenly materializes next to me, and the musty stench of rotting flesh bombards my nostrils. It won't stay still for long, it's going to attack. So, yeah, spooky. Slam. The monstrosity, with all its weight, crashes into a magical shield created by Oberon. The shield, like glass, begins to shatter as a web of small cracks form and expand from the center of the impact. Oh, nice. Oh, cool effects. It even got its own portrait. The monster shrieks in surprise and pain, stumbling backwards. The shield is still standing. The creature prepares to lunge at me again. Sharp, shadowy claws form in its arms. As it reaches back, it starts to swing. Before it can even step forward, sharp crystal thorns grow out of the wall and impale the monster's chest, making a horrible squishing sound as they penetrate through its rotting flesh. Oily, black liquid flows from the holes and evaporates into a layer of grey mist. The monster no longer resists, but wheezes in despair.
Move!
The shield falls apart and I rush to the opposite side of the room. With its last breath, the creature suddenly throws up its wounded spiky tentacle and lashes it around my arm. God. The world erupts in scarlet pain. The creature's claws cut my forearm open. Magic, which has been accumulating in my fingertips, unleashes in a wave of piercing glacial frost. at icicles as I swiftly flick my hands towards the monster. The pain shakes the monster, though most of the spell gets absorbed by its ethereal body. A few small icicles are reflected and ricochet into my arm, causing more blood to spill as I tremble from the cold. If I didn't have some innate magic immunity, I would have been close to dying by now. Thankfully, the monster collapses after deciding my attack. My reaction was enough to end it. The creature's body writhes in agony as it falls to the floor, eventually freezing from the inside out. Shackled in frost, it becomes silent. Oh, rip monster. This time for good. I pull my wrist out of the monster's disintegrating grip. With a nasty crack, the ice breaks off, and his hand falls to the floor, shattering upon impact.
Not bad. Are you hurt?
Sort of.
What?
My eyes are fixated onto the corpse of the unknown creature. His body is dissolving into thick grey smoke, which settles on the ground.
Your arm.
I glance at my bloody arm. My adrenaline masks the pain. That's a good place to save, isn't it?
Just a scratch. You've got one too.
What's that noise? Is he not dead? Or is he just dying? Oberon breathes a little faster than usual. His eyes sparkle with unhealthy excitement. Next to the old wound on his neck now exists an even fresher cut, stretching to his chest. When did he get hurt?
The spell ricocheted. Remember? We need to take care of it. I'll get a first aid kit.
I nod. My feet carry me away from the monster to the opposite end of the room. I'm surprised I can stand after that encounter. My adrenaline gradually fades, and my vision goes back to normal. My body is tired from using combat magic. Exhausted, I sit down in the nearest chair. I did well. The patriarch will be proud of me. But even my strength was not enough to defeat that abomination on my own. Well, that's why you got people around you, friends and such. What kind of creature was that? I turn to look at the monster's corpse, and I'm surprised to find that it has fully disintegrated along with our magic. All that remains is a dark, murky puddle on the floor. If I were human, I'd probably be shaking in shock or losing consciousness right now. Yet even for me, this is almost too much. I was taught to defend myself, but I wasn't trained to fight such creatures. Whatever it is, it's too strong for just one ordinary elf. I wouldn't have been able to handle it without Oberon. I reach across to the window and open it, and a gust of fresh air finally brings me to my senses. Wait. When did the window close? So did the creature get in through the window as well? Yeah. Maybe that's why Shanine left so abruptly. She noticed it and rushed to safety. If so, that dumb chicken could have at least warned us. Although even Oberon didn't seem to immediately realize that there was a monster in the office. Oberon returns with a first aid kit in one hand and a bottle of whiskey in the other.
Don't look at me like that. You could use a drink too.
Let's fix our wounds first, right?
But first aid's first.
Yeah. So Oberon opens a packet of gauze with his teeth and takes out a roll. Then he squats in front of me and gently lifts my injured arm. For a moment, his gaze lingers on a series of scars running across my naked wrist. Shane
Is
brushes
this
over me
really
and, oh
necessary?
my god, what the fuck, I missed it. I guess you can yeah, I fudged it up. I don't know. Don't think there is a log, so basically she's ashamed that she saw her scars.
I'm not good at healing magic, and I don't want to leave you without a hand.
Okay.
Additionally, a wound caused by an obscure can start rotting if they're not cleaned in time. Believe me, I speak from experience.
An obscure? I've never seen or heard of anything like that.
Probably because they are obscure or something. Oh man. Oberon focused on treating my wound, using alcohol to disinfect the area as I shiver in pain. I guess he uses it. Applying a thick, herb-based ointment, he tries to bandage my arm.
And you won't see any more. They came from me.
They?
There is more of them? My lips involuntarily curl into a slight smile at how ineptly yet diligently Oberon bandages my arm. Well, he still cares about her, so that's it. Perhaps he really has to do this himself.
I ran into another one on my way here. The second one must have followed me and crept in through the window.
So that's what the altercation was.
I'm sorry I put you in danger. They very rarely act in pairs.
A wounded hand is not the biggest price I've had to pay to see you, Lamau.
And done. Oh, that's a good one. I guess I can't stop discovering my hidden talents.
Oberon smirks, nodding at the bandage arm.
You're a real doctor.
I smile and I instinctively reach out to pat Oberon on the head like I used to before. As soon as my hat touches his thick dark hair, Oberon dodges it and jokingly flicks me on the nose.
Hey, what was that for?
Don't lose your vigilance, my dear. Danger waits at every turn. You almost died today.
No one tried to kill me until you arrived. It seems you're the danger here.
Oh yeah, I'm the worst.
Oberon's soft laughter spills across the room and gives me familiar goosebumps.
Let me get you a drink.
Let's go. Oberon briefly fiddles around with the ingredients on the serving table. Like a skilled waiter, he pours whiskey into the proper glasses and sets them on the table between us. My nose is hit by the distantly sharp smell of alcohol. I take a small sip and my stomach is filled with a pleasant warmth. The pain in my arm dulls slightly.
How is it? Better now?
Perhaps gotta see the doctor or something. As I lean back, I feel my eyelids getting heavier. The alcohol is finally dissipating the remnants of tension from before. Too many events in one day. First Oberon, then an obscure. Oberon alone is already more than enough. I open my eyes, intending to ask him a little more about the obscure. My heart skips a beat. Oh. Oberon took off his shirt, showing off his muscular torso adorned with tattoos. They start from the base of his chin, they go down to his collarbone, traveling further still to his lower abdomen, still tense from the fight. Right. Freaking out. Posing like one of those French girls. Wrapping his slender fingers around his whiskey glass, he lays further back on the sofa and looks at me with a sly smile.
Shouldn't good girls look away in such cases?
Yeah, I guess so. Taken by surprise, I hurriedly look away and drink half of my whiskey in one big gulp. Oh my god, don't gulp whiskey like that. The alcohol burns my throat from the inside and I eagerly gasp for air until the smoldering sensation disappears. The stress and fatigue from battling the monster had given way to an unexpected sense of lightness. My arm barely hurts at all anymore, and the origin of the obscure is not the least of my concerns. Oberon, still half naked, watches me curiously. He had already treated the wound on his chest with antiseptic, still slightly red in the dim light. Okay. Oh man. Oh. Should probably grab some water at some point, because I drank all of my tea. That cut looks more serious than it did at first glance. My gaze creeps down his abdomen, along the azure sparkle coming from his tattoos.
You're not going to bandage yourself up?
I notice a thin trickle of blood coming out of his nose.
No, I regenerate fast enough to not need bandages.
You're bleeding.
Oberon hastily wipes the blood with the back of his hand, taking a look at it with a grim merriment.
I'm fine. It's just been a tough day.
Some long nails, bro.
Because of the obscures? You said they came for you.
It's the nature of my work.
Well, since we're talking about your work...
Well, that sounds so loud. I snap my fingers, and the folder with the information I collected appears in my hand. I toss it to Oberon.
Why do you need information about Theurgy? That's troll territory in the world of magic, not ours.
The alcohol makes me a little bolder, and I ask Oberon about his affairs directly, without shame.
Nothing serious. I'm just going to a dinner party.
He begins flipping through the documents.
Dinner party?
Sure.
Nothing crazy, and almost nothing illegal that could hurt our reputation, I promise.
Sure it is.
Turn my head in the direction of the puddle, which used to be a monster bent on killing us. Oberon diligently ignores my attempts to get into his affairs, and changes the subject.
Did you screen the office? I'm surprised that half the office staff didn't run in when they heard the obscure scream.
Oh, yes. The others can't hear what's going on in this room.
Oh, so this office isn't just the two rooms. I see. There are people in the other rooms.
Before, when Shanine started gossiping about our colleagues, her voice carried through the entire office. That brought us some unpleasantries, so I cast a spell every morning now. Just in case.
Yes, Shanine is always so loud.
Indeed. What? What? I feel like I was just stabbed with a hot knife to my gut. Any thoughts about the obscure and Theurgy disappeared, giving way to burning jealousy. So you did sleep with her. I mean, she can be loud without making noises, but I guess so. What did I expect? Well, we no longer owe anything to each other. And even if we did, why am I in so much pain from this? Oberon sets his glass aside and sits up on the couch, anxiously looking at me.
Manhin, are you okay? I don't know what you're thinking.
No, apparently thinking that you're, dating the colleague or something. It's too late. Dam breaks inside of me, and the torrent of old grievances, jealousy, and pain flows free, ready to sweep away everything in its path.
What am I supposed to think? You've been too busy to visit me for years, but you conveniently found time to fuck my colleague?
Hell, no, I guess not, but maybe yes. Oh man. I mean, there is no confirmation, but she knows better, right?
That's not...
Oberon exhales irritably and starts to dress quickly. And look, the office changed. It's like a dark room now.
Of course you do. It always ends up like this. You suddenly show up when you need something, drag me into your next dangerous game, and disappear for a few more years while I pick up my own pieces.
I skipped one of the lines accidentally. Okay. There is a dot in here, but that's... Oh god. I might have to replay it properly so I read the lines that I skipped, but that might be something for a different video.
You really don't understand why I didn't come back.
No, I don't. But please, enlighten me. It's your classic way of dealing with problems. You put everything on someone else, never accepting responsibility by yourself. Has it ever been otherwise? You ran away from home, disgraced our family, without an ounce of care for what the patriarch, our father, gave you. You left me, humiliated, trampled.
Here we go again.
Here we go again. Well,
You speak so tragically about being abandoned, yet you don't think I felt the same way. Do you truly believe I enjoyed being Father's favorite chess piece? Did it not occur to you that I wanted to die a player, not a pawn?
that's some deep stuff that I don't know about. I guess they're sort of related.
What a tragic fate to be the son of an influential family. I'm sure all the boys in the brothel, or whatever miserable place Father found you, would cry bitter tears if they found out about your suffering.
And he's adopted as well. I'm guessing.
Our family gave you everything. Everything that you could have possibly asked for. Money, education, connections, a brilliant future. And all we asked for in return was your gratitude. But you just turned up your proud peasant nose and spit on all of us. And look what you've become. A foolish, irresponsible criminal and a nobody. A nobody who chooses to be a nobody.
Wow, that's some mean stuff. Hot tears are streaming down my cheeks.
Even
Wow.
when I was bleeding, dying, I called for you. And you didn't even care.
That's pretty sad, but don't know what happened back then.
I am sorry.
Crushed, I look up at the Oberon. My vision is slightly clouded with tears.
Not for not coming when you tried to get me back. Nothing would have worked.
Oberon winces in slight pain.
Your life and well-being is too precious a thing to sacrifice in the ghostly hope of bringing back the past.
I guess so. Oberon moves so close to me that I can see his pitch black eyelashes flutter. His cold fingers slightly graze my cheek. I shudder, but I do not pull back. Something like that, I guess. Okay. Gently wipes the tears from my face with the back of his hand. Press his forehead to mine. His hot breath lightly tickling my skin.
I'm sorry I didn't come for so long. I was hoping that the less we saw each other, the easier it would be for you to part with the past. Easier to put a stop to the pain and regret. Don't cry. You're not planning on going to the opera like that, are you?
Wait, what?
What?
Thought you didn't like opera. Oberon gently moves away from me and gets on his feet.
Don't you want me to keep you company at the opera?
Yes, but are you crazy? There's no show today. Even for rehearsals, it's way too late.
So what? I bet you've never been backstage at night.
He is crazy. Lumao.
So, are we going or not? My offer's only valid for a limited time.
Yeah, let's go, why not? Oberon extends his left hand, and in his right, he holds the bottle of whiskey. And now I am crazy. Smiling through tears, I nod slightly.
I'll get my clutch.
I'll just get my clutch. So, is it the clutch for walking? Or something else? I'm guessing it's just, yeah, necessary, not. I'm misremembering. There are crutches, then there is a clutch, which is different things. I look around the room for my perpetually lost accessory. Ah, here you are. I barely have the chance to grab the clutch as a familiar dark blue rectangle with a golden frame falls to the floor. The third card, how did it get here?
Is something wrong?
The third card.
Maybe you shouldn't? Who knows what's going to come out this time?
Do you want to know the future? Or go? Cares.
You know what? No. Sometimes it's better to just live in the moment. Let's go.
If you say so.
You can look at it later if you want. Our hands finally meet and interlock. Step towards the door, but he starts pulling me to the window.
What do you think doors are for?
What fun is it to walk through doors?
Oberon's eyes light up with jovial madness and excitement. I'll definitely regret this. Or maybe not. Hey, okay. So did they go to the opera? I guess they did. So yeah, that was the demo for Under Pretense of Death. I know I missed a few lines by accident. I didn't play the Russian version, which is like there's two languages available. But if you want to play it yourself, you can download it from h.io. I'll post the link to this description so that you can check it out on your own time if you want. But yeah, it was a pretty cool game, I think. And what impressed me is how, you know, the voiceovers and the art and the music is also awesome. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to see what the full version of the game is gonna look like. And I'm guessing it's more than just 1 hour of playtime. Well, I think this was roughly 1 hour right now, and the full version might take up to 4 maybe. No. Well, anyway, I'm getting off on a tangent, but hope you enjoyed the video, and you know, maybe it's like a very long novel by the end, who knows. But yeah, that was a short visual novel. I'll probably make a playlist for short videos and like one-off games, so that, you know, I can play more games like this. But yeah, hope you enjoyed the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Ego 7 out. See you around. Bye bye.